queen?
What's happening, babe? What's good?
It is so great to see your face, to see your smile. I don't think I've ever said this to you before in interviews, and I've had the pleasure of interviewing you over the years. But whenever you come into a room, it always changes. The atmosphere changes.
Oh, wow.
You can't help but smile when we look at you perform, the way that you sing. It feels as if I'm the only person in that room with you as you're singing to me. So
Wow.
I just want
Thank
to
you.
say that to you.
That means so much to me, coming from a strong brother like yourself, because, one of the angles of my delivery and my music is to appeal to brothers and sisters. And early on in my career, I had to find a way to not just be somebody that was against the women or the men. So I had to find that balance. So that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. How have you been doing? I know this past weekend it's been very, very.
It's
I don't even really have the words to say, but how have you?
This weekend, the weekend. Let's go back. Let's talk about the last 3 weekends. It's been overwhelming because, of course, we lost Little Richard, we lost Andre Horrell, and we lost one of my best friends, Miss Betty Wright. That was overwhelming. We were already in the COVID-19 lockdown situation, which would not afford us to be able to really support the family members and each other as we normally would in the loss of a family member. So that was hard enough. And then to add insult to injury, we're in lockdown and we're asked to be still. And then all of a sudden they kill Mr. Aubrey, and then right behind that, they kill Mr. Floyd. It's like it's hunting season for them. And, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. People are already up to their ears in frustration because they are, asked to stay in. They've been broken out of their normalcy. They've been estranged. They're asked to be social distance in their homes. And life like this, we have never seen before. So the thing that really threw me for a loop is that out of our frustration and anger, the rioting and the suppressed pain that we are feeling as a people, we have come out on the other side of that coin saying, we're going to make you pay attention to us. But then when the looting started, and I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that, the rationale went left because the protesting, as earned as it is, it's not supposed to turn to foolish violence. Because at this point, we are destroying our own legacy. We are tearing down our own structures, things that we built that would afford us to work, eat, and live continuously. We're not tearing down the white man's establishment. We are tearing down our own establishment, and therefore we're not thinking rationally. We're thinking out of anger, and sometimes when we get angry, we cannot control our emotions. And someone has to create an agenda that says, hey, wait a minute, let's think this through. We can do this with dignity, okay? And we don't have to spaz out to the point that we're not aware of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Let me get what I can get. That's what they go with. You running out buying or stealing 15 boxes of Jordans to sell to people who ain't got no job, to walk around in a neighborhood where you being quarantined. What good are they going to do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where I'm at. I'm broken right now. I'm torn because my people are humble people. My people are praying people. My people genuinely are forgiving people. But we've been pushed to the brink of insanity. And at this point, we just are pissed. We're at the highest level of festivity.
Yeah. Absolutely. How have you been able to maintain your creativity? I call this the Corona storm that we're in, because I feel like this is just one of life's storms that we're having to endure. But how have you been able to maintain your creativity?
Well, one thing that I have done is I've been staying in my Bible. I have, if you can see, I'm right here all the time, asking God for guidance, for acceptance, to give me the strength to control my emotions, to pray and to trust him at his word and his promise. I even started a show called The Power Hour to give people who are searching for a calmer resolve the opportunity to learn this book along with me while I continue to educate myself. I'm saying let's fellowship. This is a time to do kingdom work, to do a kingdom walk together. So I've been able to oppress a lot of all of that anger just by trusting God and taking him at his promise. So I'm at a space right now where, yes, I'm hurting. Yes, I'm angry. I'm challenged every day. The demons come every day. They come to annoy, they come to seek, kill, and to destroy. But I am at a place where I'm trusting God at his word. So I'm okay with it. I go to sleep in spite of the anger. I lay down and say, God got me. God got this. And I pray a hedge of protection over my family, over my neighbors, over my brothers and sisters, that no hurt, harm, or danger will come to us in the middle of the night.
Absolutely. I want to go back to something you had mentioned at the top of the conversation, and that was the passing of Betty Wright. You all had that amazing work together. She was a mentor and a friend. Real brief, her legacy. What do you think her legacy will be, and how people will, when you think of Betty Wright, the automatic first thought that people will have?
Betty Wright was an evangelist. She was a giver. She understood. She never fought for me, I, self-righteousness. What she did was her give back was impeccable. And what she did, even up until her last dying breath, she was fighting for other people. She knew that I was having some challenges, and she was calling me because she was concerned about, how are you doing? She never led on that she was going through, and she was trying to make sure that I was okay. And the moment I found out that she was going through, I forgot about my own illness, and I took a flight and went to her. That's the kind of woman that she, her legacy will always be. She's a giver. She was concerned for others. She tried to teach others. She was emotionally connected, but she was incredibly loyal. And if I think of Betty Wright, I think of the loyalty, and I'm just so happy that she considered me a sister.
Your song, Brother, will actually be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the release of that song, 2001. Very hard to believe. But like I was telling you offline, I started thinking about, since we're in this time of Black men, as you said, being targets. We're being targeted by so many across the board. And that song came to me. And just, I thought about it, and I looked up the release time, and wow, 20 years have gone by. And so, Angie, if you can, take us back to when this song came to you. What inspired you to write the song?
Well, I was a part of the co-write of the song. It was written by Harold Lilly, myself, and Raphael Sadiq. The fact that the song came to pass was, I was a very matter-of-fact, strong Black woman that stood for something. And I think that Harold Lilly and them thought she's the right person to convey this. I was like the dark-skinned Angela Davis back in the music industry. And it was one of those things where they knew for a fact that this was the right chick, this was the right voice, this was the right attitude to profess this song. And what I wanted brothers to know, after I had done No More Rain in This Cloud, everybody thought I was I had done Seemed You Much Too Busy. All the men thought I was picking on them. So they was like, oh, my wife loved that song. I don't want to hear that song no more. So I didn't want to make enemies. So I had to let men know that this is a business. This is an industry. So it is my responsibility as a singer, songwriter, actress, whatever it is from an entertainment standpoint, to make sure that they are all completely satisfied and feel justified in supporting the music that they love. So we wanted to create a song that made them feel special. And what better way was to give them the promise of the Bible, their kingdomship. They were created equal to God. So I wanted them to know, you're not just my king, you're all of our king, our fathers, our sons, our nephews, all of that. You reign supreme in that area, but you got to walk it. You got to hold your head up, but you need to know that you got a strong woman behind you. And I wanted to be the voice of every woman that had a king. I don't care if You know, I wanted women to know and be racially conscious of the fact that the system was designed to break our men. So when you put drugs in a neighborhood or you put alcohol in the neighborhood and you give these things, you're pedal pushing. You're designing the game to break down the structure of a stronghold. And so when our men become victims, we cannot completely blame them when the system has failed us. So I wanted women to know that in spite of all of that, they are still kings, and we are responsible for bringing them back into the complete realm of kingdomship.
Absolutely. Did you know at that time that the song would take on a life of its own and live beyond?
No, I had no idea that the song would take off. As a matter of fact, I thought I would be banned from radio because after James Brown did Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, who am I to come behind them and do a song called Black Brother? I just thought that I was going to be one of these women that was looked like, oh, she wanted him. She's singing for the black man. We don't like her. And to a degree, they don't care for me because I uphold a brother as well as God. So I think I have a certain ratio of respect, but there's a love-hate relationship for Angie Stone as well.
Wow. Wow. You actually did a remix of the song. 2010 was when that was released?
Yes.
Okay.
You're talking about the remake, the video.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, what I did was I did something that had never been done before. I asked them at the time, because it's in a historical landmark, I asked them, could I use the church that Martin Luther King preached in, use the microphone that he last spoke on, and if I could shoot that video in his church. I looked up and the church was filled with spectators, and they were all fans and people that was there just to watch the church. But they got so caught up. I couldn't believe the place was filled, but it was God driven because all of the people were there were young black men. And I'm standing up there with a church robe on, and then I would end up being a minister at the end of the day. I'm standing up there with a church robe on, singing Black Brother on the microphone that Martin Luther King spoke I Have a Dream on. So it's therapeutic in the sense that I was first allowed to use the historical landmark where he did that speech. And now here it is on the 20th year anniversary. That is still so relevant. That is brand new. It's one of those songs that will always speak our truth as long as we are shedding royal blood it's so funny because Betty's people just text me, they're checking on me. We're spilling royal blood on American soil. And that speaks a lot, that speaks volume when it comes to that song, Brother.
Angie Stone, thank you so very much for being a guest today on my show.
Thank you.
Just again, continued blessings. We thank you for your voice. We thank you for your contribution to not just Black music.
Thank you.
America's music. And we appreciate you.